Here's my mindset at the time. I believed fervently that performance was a matter of talent plus hard work. Right? I mean, you look at your genetic gifts, and you look at your willingness to work hard, and that's it. There's no other way. Unexamined. And then all of a sudden, I had that mindset violently disturbed. And the disturbance came October 2006, an article written by Jeff Colvin in Fortune magazine. What it takes to be great. In that article, Colvin is describing decades of research in behavioral science, which looks at what does it take to become an expert, an elite performer in any field: sports, performing arts, music, business management, medicine. And the results totally wiped out my old formula for what it took to be a good performer. Totally. I went through that article, and I want to show you some of the lines that I highlighted. The first one: talent has little or nothing to do with greatness. What? So let me be clear. What the research said is talent may be overrated in the way the culture holds it. That there's another variable, deliberate practice, that pushes people to the highest level because they're using their gifts properly. So everything you know about getting the right fit for a person's talent and the job applies, but that's just the beginning point. We need to add practice to it. Crucial piece to come up with. The next very interesting point. You know, I'm thinking Warren Buffett is an example of someone who was just born with great innate sense of how to invest. Michael Jordan, he had the perfect body for basketball. It was just talent. But no. As I began to look at this research, it's very clear. There's no investment gene that leads to investment acumen. And Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. It's not just sheer talent, something more. This practice capability. So what are we talking about? Next, yellow highlight. I'm going through the article. And it reads, so greatness isn't handed to anyone. It requires a lot of hard work. Yet that isn't enough, since many people work hard for decades without approaching greatness or even getting better. Wow. No, it's a particular kind of hard work that I've mentioned called deliberate practice. So what's the definition there? And in your handout, that's page 3. Follow along here. Definition of deliberate practice is that it focuses on mastering tasks beyond one's current level of comfort and competence with relentless intent to continuously improve. So in other words, elite performers feel uncomfortable, but so what? They have a relentless intent to improve. Deliberate practice also means that the performer feels that they're not very good at doing something. They're incompetent. They may fail. They may make mistakes. Doesn't matter. There's a relentless intent to improve. Move to the third major insight that I got from studying this research. And this one really took me away. Question: how many hours of deliberate practice do you think it takes to become an expert in most fields? Some of you know the answer. What is it? 10,000 hours, did you say? Yeah, you might have read Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers. Typically 10 years, 10,000 hours of deliberate practice is what it takes. Now, let me be very clear. I don't mean 10 years spent in a given position. What typically happens is people do a lot of deliberate practice year 1 and then repeat that skill proficiency 9 more times. Now, I'm talking about deliberate practice. So back to the definition. How would you like to sign up for a career where you know that it meant spending 10,000 hours doing things you didn't particularly feel like or weren't particularly good at? But ladies and gentlemen, what's the alternative? Would you rather spend that same 10,000 hours struggling, hit or miss, probably ending up plateauing somewhere and assuming that was the best you could do, like me? That's the alternative. Turns out, deliberate practice is the most efficient way to become an elite performer, an expert in your role. Third sentence that I highlighted. Almost anything anyone does at work, from the most basic task to the most exalted, is an improvable skill. So you think about cleaning machinery, maintaining machinery, strategic thinking. Every single task is a potential improvable skill. Wow. Suddenly, every element of my mindset that I thought was reality for certain was blown to smithereens. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is incredible. Talent is overrated. Practice makes the larger difference. Hard work is too vague. There's a form of hard work that delivers it. And every single thing we do at work, every task, is potentially improvable and practicable. Wow! Deliberate practice. Where have you been all my life? Say hallelujah! I mean, it was that kind of a revelatory hit. And at that moment, folks, I drew a line in the sand. For the rest of my life, the areas of performance that matter, competent is not an option.